Jazz. I never thought the worst day of my life would begin so normally. It was a Friday evening. The kind of evening that felt peaceful. The sun was slowly disappearing behind the buildings, Jazz, painting the sky with soft orange colors. I had just finished work and was driving home with a smile on my face. That day was special. It was my husband Ryan's birthday. For weeks, Jazz. I had been planning a surprise for him. I had ordered his favorite cake, bought the watch he had been looking at for months, and even booked a weekend trip to the mountains. I wanted him to feel loved, Jazz. Because that's what you do for someone you believe loves you back. As I carried the gifts into the house, I noticed something strange. The living room was dark. Ryan's car wasn't in the driveway. Jazz. I checked my phone, no messages, no missed calls. Maybe he's working late, I whispered to myself. It wasn't unusual. Ryan worked in sales, and sometimes meetings lasted longer than expected. Jazz. I placed the cake in the refrigerator and started decorating the dining room with candles and balloons. Everything looked perfect, exactly the way I imagined it. I smiled. In just a few hours, Jazz. We'd laugh together, eat dinner, and celebrate another year of our life together. Or at least, that's what I believed. Around 8 o'clock, my phone finally buzzed. A message from Ryan. Jazz, don't wait for me. Business dinner. I'll be home late. Just one sentence, no apology, no birthday emoji, nothing. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Something didn't feel right. Still, Jazz. I tried to ignore the strange feeling growing inside my chest. I told myself I was overthinking. Ryan had always been busy, that's who he was. Responsible, hardworking, successful. At least, Jazz. That's the man I thought I married. An hour later, I was cleaning the kitchen when another notification appeared. This time, it wasn't from Ryan. It was from an unknown number. There was only one photo, no message, no explanation. My hands froze. Slowly, I opened it. The moment the picture filled my screen, the air disappeared from my lungs. There he was, Ryan Lorving, Jazz, holding another woman's hand across a candlelit restaurant table. She wasn't a co-worker. She wasn't a client. She was looking at him the same way I used to, like he was her whole world. For a second, Jazz, I couldn't breathe. No, I whispered. This can't be real. Maybe it was an old picture. Maybe someone edited it. Maybe there was another explanation. Before I could think any further, Jazz, another message arrived. You deserve to know the truth. Then another photo. This one hurt even more. Ryan was standing beside the same woman outside the restaurant, Jazz. He gently moved a strand of hair away from her face. Then, he kissed her forehead. The phone slipped from my hand and landed on the floor. I couldn't move. I couldn't cry. I couldn't even think, Jazz. The room suddenly felt cold. Every memory we had built together flashed through my mind. Our wedding, our first apartment, late-night conversations, the promises, the dreams. Had all of it been a lie, Jazz? Or had I simply been too blind to see the truth? I picked up my phone again with shaking hands. I called Ryan. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3. He declined the call. Seconds later, a text arrived. Busy, Jazz. I'll call later. Busy, that single word broke something inside me. Not because he ignored my call, but because I finally understood. He wasn't working. He wasn't in a meeting, Jazz. He was celebrating his birthday with someone else. Tears finally rolled down my face. Not loud tears, silent ones. The kind that leave you staring into nothing. I sat alone at the dining table, Jazz. The candles were still burning. The birthday cake was untouched. His gift remained wrapped. Hours passed. I didn't move. Around midnight, I heard the front door unlock. Ryan walked inside quietly. Jazz. He looked surprised to see me awake. You're still up? I looked at him, really looked at him. His shirt smelled like expensive perfume, not mine. His smile disappeared. Everything okay, Jazz? For the first time in years, I didn't answer immediately. Instead, I simply asked one question. How was your business dinner? He didn't even hesitate. It was fine. The lie came so easily, too easily. I nodded slowly. I hope you had fun. He smiled with relief. I did another lie, another knife through my heart. That night, I didn't tell him what I knew. I didn't show him the photo. I didn't argue. I didn't cry in front of him. Instead, I smiled, a small, quiet, unexpected smile, because in that exact moment, I realized something. Jazz. Ryan thought he was living two different lives. He believed he was in control. He believed I would never find out. He had absolutely no idea that the game had already changed. And before it was over, Jazz, the truth would cost him far more than he ever imagined. I didn't sleep that night. Ryan was lying beside me, breathing peacefully, as if nothing had happened. Every few minutes, Jazz. He turned over and pulled the blanket closer, completely unaware that the woman next to him had just watched her entire world fall apart. I stared at the ceiling until the sun came up. Jazz. The strange thing was, I wasn't crying anymore. The tears had stopped. Not because the pain was gone, because something inside me had changed. I realized that if I confronted him now, Jazz, he would do what most people do when they're caught. He would deny it. He would make excuses. He would blame stress, work, misunderstandings, anything except the truth. No. I needed answers first, real answers. The next morning, Ryan acted exactly the way he always did. "Morning," he said with a smile. He kissed my forehead and walked into the kitchen. "I'll make coffee, Jazz." I watched him from the hallway. How could someone lie so easily? How could someone smile at me after spending the evening with another woman? It was like watching a stranger wearing my husband's face. "Jazz." He placed a cup in front of me. "You okay? You look tired." I forced a small smile. "Couldn't sleep. Too much work?" I nodded. "Something like that." He looked relieved. "Good, Jazz." Let him think everything was normal. When Ryan left for work, I waited 5 minutes before grabbing my keys. I had never followed anyone before. It felt wrong, but so did betrayal. Jazz. I kept several cars between us as we drove through the city. At first, everything looked ordinary. He stopped at his office. He walked inside. For a moment, I wondered if I had imagined everything. Jazz. Maybe he really had been working. Maybe those pictures. No, I remembered the way he looked at that woman. That wasn't fake. I parked across the street and waited. 1 hour passed, then 2. Jazz. At 11:30, Ryan walked out of the building. He wasn't alone. The same woman stepped outside behind him. She was beautiful, confident, elegant. She laughed at something he said. Then, Jazz. He opened the passenger door of his car for her, something he hadn't done for me in years. They drove away together. I followed again. This time they didn't go to another office. Jazz. They drove to a quiet cafe outside the city. I stayed far enough away that they couldn't see me. From my table near the window, I watched them. They weren't discussing business. They were sharing dessert. Jazz. Laughing, smiling, looking happier than Ryan had looked with me in months. Every laugh felt like another crack in my heart. As they stood to leave, something unexpected happened. The woman hugged Ryan. Jazz. Then she said something that made him freeze. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw his face change. He looked nervous, almost frightened. She reached into her purse and handed him a small envelope. Jazz. Ryan slipped it into his jacket immediately. Whatever was inside, he didn't want anyone to see it. That evening he came home carrying flowers for me. Thought you'd like these. 6 years together, Jazz. And suddenly flowers appeared out of nowhere. Not because he loved me, because guilty people often become unexpectedly kind. I thanked him anyway. He smiled. I've been thinking. About what, Jazz? We should take a vacation soon. Interesting, he wanted to fix a marriage he was secretly destroying. I nodded politely. Maybe. Later that night, Ryan went to shower. Jazz. For the first time in our marriage, I unlocked his office bag. Inside was the envelope. My heart pounded. I opened it carefully. There wasn't a love letter, there wasn't a photograph. Instead, Jazz, there were legal documents, several pages. The first page made my blood run cold. Proprietary transfer agreement. My eyes moved down the page. Ryan's name, our home, our investment account, our savings. Jazz. Every major asset we owned. He had started paperwork to move everything into his name. Without telling me, I read every page twice. This wasn't just an affair. This was a plan, a carefully prepared plan. Jazz. If he succeeded, he wouldn't only leave me, he intended to leave me with almost nothing. I sat there in complete silence. My hands shook, not from fear anymore, from disbelief. Jazz. The man I trusted with my future had been planning my downfall. I quickly placed everything back exactly as I found it. Seconds later, I heard the bathroom door open. Ryan walked into the bedroom, drying his hair. "You coming to bed?" "In a minute." He smiled. "Don't stay up too late." "I won't." Soon as he fell asleep, I opened my laptop for hours. Jazz. I searched every financial record I could access. What I found made things even worse. Several large transfers had been made from our joint account over the past 4 months. Jazz. Small enough that I hadn't noticed, but together, they added up to tens of thousands of dollars. Where had the money gone? I checked the account numbers, different bank, different owner, not mine. Jazz. The next morning, instead of going to work, I visited the bank. The manager greeted me politely. "I'd like copies of every transfer made from our joint account during the last 6 months. Jazz. After verifying my identity, she printed the records. I thanked her and walked outside. Sitting in my car, I began reading, transfer after transfer. Then one name appeared. Emily Carter. My heart skipped. Jazz. The mysterious woman. The account belonged to her. Ryan wasn't just seeing her. He was sending her our money. Money we had worked years to save. Money meant for our future, for our dream home. Jazz. For the children we planned to have someday. He had given it away, without a second thought, for the first time since discovering the affair. I smiled, not because I was happy, Jazz, because I finally understood something important. Ryan believed he was the smartest person in the room. He believed I was too trusting, too emotional, too weak to notice. That mistake, Jazz, would become his biggest regret. Because while he was busy protecting his secrets, he never realized I had quietly started collecting every piece of the truth. And before long, Jazz, the lies he worked so hard to hide, would begin falling apart one by one. For the next few days, I acted like nothing had changed. I smiled when Ryan smiled. I asked him about work. I cooked dinner, Jazz. I laughed at his jokes. To him, I was still the same wife who trusted him without question. But inside, I was becoming someone he had never seen before. Someone patient, someone careful, Jazz. Someone who wanted the truth more than revenge. Every night after Ryan fell asleep, I wrote everything down in a notebook. The dates, the bank transfers, the restaurant visits, Jazz. The photos from the unknown number, the property papers. Every lie had a place on those pages. If the day ever came when Ryan tried to twist the story, I wanted facts, not emotions. 3 days later, Jazz. Another message arrived from the same unknown number. It simply read, "Meet me tomorrow, 10 a.m. Below the message was the address of a small coffee shop across town. I stared at the screen. Jazz. Who was this person? A friend? A stranger? Someone trying to help me? Or someone trying to make everything worse? I almost ignored it. But curiosity won. The next morning I drove to the cafe, Jazz. It wasn't crowded. Soft music played in the background, and only a few people sat near the windows. I chose a table in the corner where I could see the entrance. 10 minutes passed. Then the door opened. Jazz. A woman walked in. She looked around nervously before walking toward me. She couldn't have been much older than 30. She wore a simple blue dress and carried a small handbag. Her face looked tired. Gaz. Not the tiredness of a long day, the tiredness of carrying a secret. "Are you Ava?" she asked quietly. I nodded yes. She sat down without ordering anything. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Gaz. Finally, she took a deep breath. "I'm the one who sent you the photos." My heart skipped. "Why?" She looked down at the table. "Because someone needed to tell you." I searched her face. She didn't look proud. She looked guilty. "I know Emily," she continued. "She's my cousin." The words hit me like cold water. "You mean?" She nodded. "Yes, Gaz. She's the woman your husband has been seeing." I expected anger. Instead, I felt calm. Maybe because I had already accepted the truth. "I need you to tell me everything," I said. She hesitated. "Gaz." Then she began. "It started almost a year ago." A year. My stomach tightened. Ryan hadn't made one mistake. He had been living a double life for 12 months. They met at a business conference, she explained. At first, Emily thought he was single. I frowned. "What?" He told her he wasn't married. For a moment, I couldn't speak. "He lied to her too." She nodded slowly. "Gaz. When she found out about you, she wanted to end it. That surprised me. But Ryan convinced her to stay." "How?" "He promised he was already planning a divorce." My hands tightened around my coffee cup. "Gaz. A divorce?" Without saying a single word to me. "He told her your marriage had been over for years." I almost laughed, not because it was funny, because the lie was so unbelievable. Just 2 months ago, Gaz. Ryan had taken me on an anniversary trip. He posted pictures online calling me the love of his life. Now I discovered that during the same time, Gaz, he was telling another woman we were practically strangers. The woman reached into her bag. "I brought something." She placed several printed screenshots on the table. Text messages. "Gaz." I slowly picked them up. Ryan's name appeared again and again. "Just a little longer. Everything will belong to us soon. She has no idea what's happening." My hands froze. There it was, proof. Gaz. Not only of the affair, but of his plan. He wasn't just hiding another relationship. He was planning a future built with my money. "I didn't know what to do," the woman whispered. Gaz. When Emily realized the truth, they argued constantly. Why didn't she leave him? She tried, but every time she did, Ryan convinced her to stay. She looked at me with sad eyes. "Gaz, I don't think Emily is innocent, but I don't think she knows everything either." That sentence stayed in my mind. Maybe Emily had made terrible choices, but Ryan had lied to both of us. Gaz. Before leaving, the woman handed me one final envelope. "I found these in Emily's apartment. Inside were copies of hotel bookings, weekend trips, restaurant receipts, gift receipts." Gaz. All paid for using the same account. Ryan had secretly filled with our money. I closed the envelope. There was no doubt anymore. The truth was complete. That evening, Ryan came home carrying groceries. Gaz. He smiled like always. "I thought we'd cook together tonight." I smiled back. "That sounds nice." He had no idea where I had been, no idea what I had learned. As we cooked dinner, he talked about work. Gaz. His co-workers, his future plans. Every sentence was another performance, another carefully practiced lie. Then he suddenly looked at me. "You've seemed different lately." I kept stirring the pasta. "Different how?" "I don't know, quieter." I smiled gently. "Maybe I'm just thinking about life." He nodded. "I guess we all do that sometimes." If only he knew. Later that night, Gaz. Ryan received a phone call. He walked onto the balcony to answer it. He thought I couldn't hear him, but the window was slightly open. "I'll handle it," he whispered. "No, she doesn't suspect anything." Gaz. A pause. I said, "I'll take care of everything." Another pause. Then, "No, don't contact her again." The call ended. Ryan stood silently on the balcony for almost a minute before coming back inside. Jazz. He looked worried, very worried. Something had changed. Maybe someone else was beginning to pressure him. Maybe his perfect plan was starting to crack. I realized something important that night. Jazz. Revenge wasn't about making him suffer. It wasn't about yelling or embarrassing him. Real revenge was letting the truth reveal itself, piece by piece, until there was nowhere left for him to hide. Jazz. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid anymore because I finally understood something Ryan didn't. He believed he was writing the ending to our story, but without realizing it, Jazz, he had handed me the pen. The next morning, I woke up before Ryan. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel lost. I had a plan, not a perfect one, but a smart one. Jazz. I wasn't going to let anger make my decisions anymore. Ryan had spent months planning his lies. I could spend a few more days uncovering the rest of the truth. As usual, Jazz. He kissed my forehead before leaving for work. See you tonight. I smiled. Drive safely. The moment the front door closed, I grabbed my notebook. Every clue I had collected pointed to one thing: money. Jazz. There was still something I didn't understand. Ryan had transferred thousands of dollars to Emily. But according to our bank records, not all of the missing money had gone to her. Jazz. Nearly $40,000 was still unaccounted for. Where had it gone? I called our financial advisor. Hi, Ava, he said warmly. How can I help? I just wanted to review our investments. Jazz. Of course. For nearly an hour, we went over every account. Everything looked normal. Almost then he casually said something that made me stop writing. Jazz. Ryan asked about closing one of your investment accounts a few weeks ago. I frowned. What investment account? There was a short silence. You didn't know? My heart started racing. Jazz. I don't think we're talking about the same account. He hesitated. I probably shouldn't discuss it over the phone. I understand, I replied calmly. I'll come by this afternoon. Jazz. When I arrived at his office, he looked uncomfortable. I assumed both of you had discussed it. I'd just like to understand. He opened a file. Jazz. There was a request to move funds from your shared investment into another account. I looked at the paperwork. The request carried Ryan's signature, but not mine. It wasn't approved, he explained. We require both signatures. I quietly exhaled. For once, someone had followed the rules. Did Ryan seem upset? The advisor nodded. He said you'd already agreed. Another lie. Jazz. Ryan had been using my name to convince people. As I prepared to leave, the advisor handed me a copy of the paperwork. You should keep this. I thanked him, walking back to my car. Jazz. I looked at the document again. At the bottom was something I had never noticed before. A bank name, not the one we normally used. A completely different bank. That afternoon I drove there. Jazz. The woman at the reception greeted me politely. How may I help you? I'm trying to verify whether my name appears on any joint accounts. She checked my identification. A few minutes later, she looked surprised. Yes, my stomach tightened. There is one. One? I'd like more information. I'm sorry, but both account holders must be present. I understand. I thanked her and walked out. Jazz. One account. A bank I had never visited. How had Ryan opened it? Why was my name on it? That evening, I said nothing. Ryan came home carrying pizza. I didn't feel like cooking. Neither did I. Jazz. We ate dinner while watching television. He laughed during the movie. I barely followed the story. My mind was somewhere else. Every smile he gave me felt rehearsed now. Every kind word sounded empty. Jazz. Just before bed, Ryan's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and immediately locked it, too quickly. Everything okay? I asked. Just work. He didn't even look at me. Another late meeting tomorrow. Jazz. I nodded. Okay. Inside, I already knew. Whenever he mentioned work lately, Emily wasn't far behind. The following afternoon, something unexpected happened. Jazz. I was grocery shopping when I heard someone call my name. Ava? I turned around. It was Mark, Ryan's younger brother. We hadn't spoken in months. He smiled warmly. It's been forever. It has. Jazz. We chatted for a few minutes, then he suddenly asked, "How's everything with you two?" I forced a smile. "We're doing fine." He looked at me carefully. "You don't have to pretend." My heart skipped. Jazz. "What do you mean?" Mark sighed. "I've wanted to tell you something for weeks." We walked to a quiet corner of the parking lot. "I don't know exactly what's going on, Jazz, but Ryan has been acting strange." "How?" "He's borrowed money from almost everyone in the family." I stared at him. "What?" "He told Mom it was for a business investment, Jazz. He asked me for $10,000. He even borrowed from our uncle." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Ryan wasn't just spending our savings. He was secretly borrowing money too. "Did he ever pay you back?" Mark slowly shook his head. "No." I thanked him and drove home in silence. The picture was becoming clearer. Ryan wasn't simply cheating. He was drowning in lies, money, Jazz. False promises, high accounts, low earns, accurate meetings. His entire life had become a carefully balanced house of cards. And houses built on lies never stand forever. That night, while Ryan slept, Jazz, I opened the drawer beside his desk. Most of it contained ordinary paperwork. Receipts, pens, old notebooks. Then I found a small key. It wasn't a house key. It was the kind used for a safety deposit box. Jazz. My heartbeat quickened. I searched the drawer again. Nothing, no label, no explanation, just the key. I slipped it back exactly where I found it. Another secret, another question. But this time, Jazz. I had a feeling the answer was much bigger than I imagined. As I lay in bed, I looked at Ryan sleeping peacefully beside me. He still believed he was in control. He still believed I knew almost nothing, Jazz. He had no idea that every single day, another piece of his carefully built life was falling into my hands. And very soon, I wasn't going to chase the truth anymore. The truth, Jazz, was about to come looking for me. The next morning, I couldn't stop thinking about the small silver key. It looked ordinary. Small, plain, easy to ignore. But somehow, I knew it wasn't ordinary, Jazz. People don't hide ordinary things. They hide things they don't want anyone else to find. And Ryan had become very good at hiding things. I finished my coffee and looked out the kitchen window, Jazz. Ryan was already gone. The house was silent. For weeks, I had been collecting pieces of a puzzle, the affair, the secret bank account, the missing money, the property papers, the loans from his family, Jazz. Now there was one more piece, the key. I just needed to figure out where it belonged. Instead of searching through Ryan's things again, I decided to do something different, Jazz. I called the bank where I had discovered the hidden joint account. A customer service representative answered. "Good morning. How may I help you?" I spoke carefully, Jazz. "I have a question about safety deposit boxes." She politely explained the process. Then she said something interesting. "If you're listed as a joint owner on an account, Jazz, you may also be listed on any connected deposit box." My heart skipped. Connected. There was a chance the key wasn't only Ryan's. There was a chance it legally belonged to both of us. An hour later, Jazz, I walked into the bank. The same receptionist recognized me. "Welcome back." I smiled politely. "I'd like to check whether I'm authorized to access a safety deposit box connected to my account, Jazz." She checked my identification. A few minutes later, she looked back at me. "Yes, just one word, but it changed everything. You are listed as an authorized holder." I tried not to show my surprise. "Jazz, so I can access it?" She nodded. "Yes, as long as you provide identification." A bank employee led me into a secure hallway. My footsteps echoed against the quiet walls. Finally, we stopped in front of a small metal box. He unlocked the first lock. You'll need your key for the second lock. I froze for half a second. I forgot to bring it. No problem. He smiled. Jazz. We can arrange another appointment. I thanked him and walked out. At least now I knew the key fit this box. And whatever Ryan had hidden inside, he believed no one would ever see. That evening, Jazz. I waited until Ryan fell asleep. Very quietly, I opened his desk drawer. The key was still there. I held it for just a few seconds before placing it into my purse. By sunrise, Jazz. It would be back exactly where it belonged. Ryan would never know it had left the house. The next morning, I returned to the bank. This time, I had the key. The employee unlocked the first lock. Jazz. My hands trembled as I inserted the second key. Kimmick, the box opened. I slowly pulled it out and carried it into a private room. For a moment, I simply stared at it. Jazz. I wasn't sure I wanted to know what was inside. But after everything I had already discovered, there was no turning back. I lifted the lid. Inside were several folders, a stack of documents, Jazz, a flash drive, and a small velvet jewelry box. The jewelry box caught my attention first. I opened it. Inside was a beautiful diamond ring. It wasn't mine. I had never seen it before. Jazz. A tiny note rested beneath it. For our new beginning. There was no name, but I didn't need one. I already knew who it was meant for. Emily. Ryan hadn't only been planning to leave me, Jazz. He had been planning to propose. I took a deep breath and opened the first folder. Proprietary contracts, investment papers, insurance documents. Almost every document had one thing in common, Jazz. Ryan had been trying to move assets away from our shared finances. Some attempts had failed, others had succeeded. He had spent months preparing for a future without me. Then I reached the flash drive, Jazz. The bank employee had left me alone. So I connected it to the small computer inside the private room. Several folders appeared, photos, scanned documents, spreadsheets. Then one folder labeled, Jazz. Future plans. I clicked. Inside was a detailed budget, apartment costs, furniture, travel plans, wedding expenses. Every page assumed one thing. Ryan and Emily would soon begin a new life together, Jazz. Funded with money that belonged to both of us. I couldn't believe what I was reading. This wasn't an emotional mistake. This was a carefully organized plan. As I continued scrolling, Jazz, another file caught my attention. Its name was simple. Timelin. I opened it. The first line made my heart stop. Finalized divorce before December. Below it were smaller notes. Jazz. Transfer remaining savings. Sell current house. Purchase new condo. Emily moves in January. I leaned back in my chair. Ryan had planned every month, every dollar, every step. Except one, Jazz. He never planned for me finding out first. I copied the files onto my own USB drive. I wasn't stealing them. They were records connected to my own finances and future, Jazz. Then I carefully returned everything exactly as I found it. The ring, the folders, the flash drive. When I locked the box again, it looked untouched. Driving home, I expected to feel angry. Instead, Jazz. I felt strangely calm. The fear was gone, the confusion was gone. For the first time since receiving that anonymous photo, I knew exactly what I was dealing with. Ryan wasn't just hiding an affair, Jazz. He was trying to rewrite my future without my knowledge. But his biggest mistake wasn't cheating. It wasn't lying. It was underestimating me. That evening, Ryan walked through the front door smiling. Jazz, you won't believe it, he said. My boss is talking about promoting me. Really? He nodded proudly. If everything goes well, life is about to get much better. I smiled back. I hope it does, Jazz. He thought we were talking about the same future. We weren't. Because while he was dreaming about starting a new life, I had just uncovered every secret that could destroy the one he had built on lies, Jazz, and I wasn't finished yet, not even close.